All right, so this starts off a little video series, kind of for me to look back on as I get closer to residency applications, called Rotation Review, where I make a short video about my rotation experience after they all finish, just so that I have something to look back on. And this is the first one on internal medicine. I finished that 6 week rotation, and so um, I'll kind of give my thoughts on that. So I'm going to structure this by kind of rating and discussing my rotations based on various categories. I'm going to do site, structure, study resources and schedule, quality of teaching, specialty rating, onboarding, must haves, and then for fun, a little food review because Lord knows I love that. Um, okay, so let's get started. My site was Advocate Illinois Masonic. This was a 6 week long internal medicine rotation, and that hospital is located right in the city of Chicago. So for the structure, we arrived at the hospital at about 6:45 in the morning to pre-round on our patients, which the interns would assign first thing in the morning. You would chart review for a little and then immediately go see those patients. You'd do a full history, full physical exam, and then you'd come back for rounds, which were usually at 9, maybe 9:30. Rounds could take a variable amount of hours, but after they were done, you'd write up a note. Rounds could have either been bedside, so we go from patient room to patient room, or table rounds. It just depended on who our attending was for that week. At Masonic, we had frequent didactics, which were these learning sessions, very case-based, that we would use to kind of study for board review and shelf review. And then we also did point of care ultrasound training. Dr. Dumphy led that for us, and I just think the instruction was fantastic. So as for study resources and schedule, I think this was the toughest part about my internal medicine rotation. I would go home and I would immediately have to just hit the books because of the sheer breadth of knowledge that was needed for this shelf. I think there was almost 1.4 thousand UWorld questions to get through, just related to the shelf, and that doesn't even include the step 2 question bank. So Anki had to go straight out the window. I drilled UWorld and then I supplemented with targeted review from the step 2 first aid book. And then on my commute, which was about 20 minutes to and from the hospital, I would listen to the Divine Intervention podcast. Overall, that was extremely helpful, but the study hours were a little brutal. This is aside from Natalie editing this video. I also did all of the internal medicine and BME forms, which were very, very similar to the shelf and very, very helpful. That being said, again, study hours in internal medicine were brutal. Loved being there, loved being in the hospital, being a part of internal medicine. But I remember coming home and doing all that studying and thinking, like, oh, this too shall pass. But it was passing like a kidney stone. The quality of teaching at Masonic was just amazing. I was learning so much every single day. The residents and the attendings are clearly so passionate about teaching us. I feel like if you wanted to absorb as much knowledge as you could, Masonic was a great place to go. I think I have this right next to me. One of the attendings like gave us all this like image from the New England Journal of Medicine. He was like, "What do you think is going on here?" And oh my gosh, endless opportunities to learn. I had so much fun. As for the overall specialty rating, seriously 10 out of 10. I did not expect to like internal medicine this much. I It was a little bit of a learning curve because this was the first time I've ever had any responsibility outside of scribing in a hospital. But I quickly felt right at home, and I thought I could genuinely see myself applying for and matching into internal medicine. Um, like, all jokes aside, I am cooked. This rotation introduced me to so many amazing learning resources, and I had so much fun. Like, I do the Wordle daily, but now also we throw in the New England Journal of Medicine image challenges when they come out. Oh gosh, I love internal medicine so much. So as for site onboarding, I have to shout out Miss Deb. Miss Deb, she was so supportive of us students. She was on it. Any question you had, she had an answer for it like yesterday. She was so prepared, really organized, and just made our transition and our experience at Masonic flawless. So easy. Some rotation must-haves. I mean, compression socks, just because you're on your feet a lot. Other than that, I highly recommend a domestic wife. I didn't really have that much time to like cook or take care of myself really, because I had to study so much when I got home. And so my roommate, who is my domestic wife, Priya Pradhan, she would cook dinner for me like every day, and she just like slip it to me as I was brutally like pounding UWorld questions and like doing step review. And I think she made this rotation, I mean, so easy. Not easy, but like I thrived because of her. Okay, as a food review, Masonic had very, I think, affordable cafeteria food in comparison to Rosalind Franklin's DNA Cafe, so I was very happy about that. Specifically, there was this sausage, egg, and cheese sandwich that was at the cafe, and it was like crunchy but succulent and hot. It had my soul in a death grip. I love her and I yearn for her. Other than that, the cafeteria had onion rings, which I was thrilled about. I don't think I got anything else. I don't have my final grade for my internal medicine rotation at the time that I'm making this video, but I will keep that updated. I do know my shelf grade, which I am satisfied with, but yeah, I'll post that when I know it. Well, I just got my grade back for my internal medicine rotation, and I honored. Yay! This is week 4 into my next rotation, my family medicine rotation, which is what I'm on right now. So, Masonic goes really fast with getting those grades out. Usually they take about 6 weeks, so I'm so happy. Now that I have finalized my grade, I can share with you some funny stories related to the site itself. So first of all, first day, I parked in the parking garage. This sign was on the elevator. I knew right away that this was going to be someplace I loved dearly. For those of you who don't know, I am a quite a goose whisperer, if I do say so myself. I had a bit of a cult following with the campus geese back at Rosalind Franklin, so I was super excited about that. On top of that, here's some art that I drew during the rotation. Every time like we did rounds on internal medicine, it reminded me of this one Rembrandt painting, so I just added everyone as like the characters in that in that painting. This art piece here I drew, and I'm just so proud of it. It was just a really tender moment that I shared with one of the patients on the floor. I took care of her for I think 2 weeks straight, and that interaction just left such a big impact on me. When she was like getting close to being discharged, we shared a moment. Other than that, had a lot of fun with the residents and the fellow medical students I was with. It was a very collaborative environment. We were always having like inside jokes and stuff like that. I had so much fun. Now, my roommate just asked me that if everyone was awful to me during my internal medicine rotation, would I still practice internal medicine? Hi, mister. And I think the answer is still yes. I think it is. I liked being on the care team. I think if everyone was really mean, that would have made me sad, but I like the medicine, so I don't know. Internal medicine is really up there for for future residency applications. We'll see how it turns out. Okay, see you next time for Family Med Review.